What's going on? It is the Don's Journey, and we're coming with you with a very OG setup because we got to talk about a serious topic. This is a topic that I honestly have been avoiding to talk about for a very long time, but it's been put on my heart to speak on it, so I must do it. And we're going to be talking about corn, right? And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. First, I want to let you know that if you're watching this and you struggle with it, just know that you are not alone, and just know that you are not like broken. You're not unfixable. You're not disgusting. You're not weird or anything like that. You know, you're just struggling with something, just like someone who struggles with alcohol, or someone who struggles with food addiction, or someone who struggles with anxiety or depression, right? You're just a normal person who struggles with something, right? Who struggles with a demon. And first I want to speak on this and really give you guys a background on who I am and exactly how corn has affected me. So I'm 21, turning 22 next month, and I've been exposed to corn since age 11, I think, or age 12. Don't quote me, but it's between 11 or 12. So basically, if you do the math, it's basically been a decade, which is almost half of my life, right? So I've been exposed at a very early age, like many of you guys watching, and like many of millions of people and kids out there in the world right now. Many male and female young adolescents, young teens, young kids get exposed to this at a very early age. And it's getting worse and worse by the day with how Instagram and Facebook and all these things are looking like. I was exposed at age 11 or 12. Forcefully, right? Like, oh, look at this in summer camp and stuff like that. And it sparked like a curiosity in me, and to where I dabbled in it and whatnot when I was younger. And that dabbling turned into almost a daily thing, to where it was almost every day where I was indulging in doing so, of watching it, of doing certain things while watching it. Gotta make sure I keep the video PG. And this was a pattern for me for years. And year by year, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And if you don't know my story, right, there's a video for you that explains how I overcame depression. I wound up becoming depressed at around age 17, where COVID happened, and to where I was overweight. I lacked a lot of self-love. I was out of the faith and denounced my faith in Jesus Christ. And I was an atheist who was overweight, who was heavily anxious and very depressed. And the only thing that comforted me was two things: food and sugar, and corn. And I would indulge in it daily, multiple times a day, zero breaks. I couldn't even go 8 hours without doing it. And you know that little thing that tells you, like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe I shouldn't do this, right? I've always had that in the back of my mind. I always had that shame, right? And, you know, that's why it's always done in the dark. Things that are done in the dark it's in your spirit, where you know it's wrong, but you just can't confront it about yourself, or you're just not right with God to where you can approach it properly with his help, with his aid. And I've always felt in the back of my mind, like, this is not right. This is shameful. This is not cool. But guess what? I was so filled with lust, and I was so filled with loneliness and a lack of love, to where, like, it didn't matter to me. The shame didn't matter, right? None of that mattered. And I know a lot of you guys, whoever clicked on this, probably relate. You know, where it's just like you're doing it every day, or you're doing it every other day, and you're doing it multiple times a day, whatever. And you're indulging in it, and it's just like, you know, this is wrong, but you're just like, man, F it. F it. You only have YOLO, right? You only live once. And yeah, I was indulging in it every day. And then I finally wound up climbing myself out of depression. I wound up hitting the gym. I wound up wanting to become a better version of myself, right? Learning about self-love, learning about confidence, learning about self-esteem, all these different things. And then I started attacking my addiction to corn. And sometimes I would be able to go 2 days without doing it. And then fall. 3 days, fall. 1 day, fall. 5 days, fall. Don't do it again for weeks. A day, fall. 3 days, fall. 7 days, fall. 2 weeks, fall. And willpower can get you a long way, right? Like us humans are very resilient and very powerful, very strong. But guess what? We are flawed individuals and we are corrupted, right? And unfortunately, no matter how good your hardware is, if there is a virus, unfortunately, you're not gonna be running optimally. There's going to be issues. There are going to be downfalls. There are going to be performance issues. And that's the problem with willpower. In the Bible, it states that out of all the sins in the world, anger, wrath, the wanting to steal someone's items because you're poor, right? Greed, all these different things, right? The one issue where God spoke to his followers that he stated specifically to run and flee away from. What is it? Lust. And what is corn? It is a product of lust. Now remember, lust isn't just horniness. It isn't just sexuality. No. Lust can be spawned from loneliness. It can be spawned from lack of self-value. It can be spawned from lack of self-love. It can be spawned from succubus and demons that have been with you for however many years. And I had a very touching moment yesterday where I've been doing excellent. Like, I haven't even thought about it in months. Like, it doesn't even cross my mind to ever even think about it, to ever even look it up, to ever even want to ever indulge in it, right? I haven't thought about it in months. And then all of a sudden, I'm bombarded with all these thoughts. I feel like I'm back as my 17-year-old self. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, and I'm in the shower and I'm speaking to God, and I'm like, God, please remove these thoughts. God, please help me. I need help. I'm being tormented. I don't think a lot of y'all really truly understand how it is to be tormented by your thoughts. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. It feels like it's inescapable. I tried using the video game. The video game didn't help. I tried scrolling on my phone. Scrolling on my phone didn't help. I didn't even want to work on video creation or working on my website or working on my newsletters. I didn't want to do any of that. Nothing was going to be able to drag me away from my brain. And God was testing me. I didn't know it at the time last night, but God was testing me, and he tested me on this specific topic to come to you guys today and speak on this. I'm getting bombarded with all these thoughts like, oh, just go look it up and do this or do that, or why don't you do this, man? It's been so long. Why don't blah, 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 right? And I'm not going to lie to you. I went to my computer. I looked it up. Immediately felt shame. Closed it off, right? Not going to lie to you. I'm weeping. I'm crying. And I'm like, God, please give me the answer. I need help. These demons are, and then as soon as I said that, it was like everything. It's like he literally just rang ding in my brain. And then I realized that the power is in my hands because God gives us all the power. And I want you to know this, that you have the power. No matter how powerless you may feel right now, you have the power. I'm telling you right now, no matter what your stronghold is. But right now we're going to talk about corn in particular. Now, so remember, you want to run away and flee from lust. You want to run away and flee. You cannot fight it off. But what you can do is put the armor of God. You put the armor of protection on you. And what I started to do was I spoke over myself. Instead of pleading, asking. Remember, God needs soldiers, not pleaders. You pray for strength and then utilize the strength. Like he's like, you can't just have strength handed to you and just look at it. No, now you got to utilize it, right? You got to utilize those hands. You got to utilize those weapons. And it is spoken, I believe, in Proverbs, where death and life is in the tongue, where God has given us the power to cast out demons. Because we got to realize, man, like movies and all these different things and some false teachings make it seem like demons are these all powerful beings that we have zero power over and only God can take them out. No, God has given us the authority, right? He's given us the authority over alcohol. He's given us authority over food addiction, sugar addiction, all these different things, right? He has the authority over all these things. And then literally what I did right then and there, I cast it out. I said, you demons of lust. And you know what's funny too? It tried to grab my tongue. I stuttered. As I was uttering me casting out these demons, I stuttered. I mumbled. And I was like, oh, hold on. I'm getting somewhere. They started, I could literally, I feel them trembling because they know the words that are about to come out of my mouth are not just some idiotic statement. It's real. It's power. It's my sword that was given to me. And I said, I cast out you demons of lust. Flee from me now. And then literally what happened in an instant, all those sexual thoughts, all those all those pornographic thoughts left in that moment. Left. And I was like, I don't think you really understand. I was so ecstatic. I was so elated because guess what? Like, I don't want to go back to that. That's nasty, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it, right? If you're in a state right now where you're watching Corn Daily, but you don't think it's weird, right? Really think about it, right? You're sitting there in a dark corner in your chair or in your bed or in your sofa or whatever, looking at two strangers have sex, or looking at a girl who's a stranger pleasure herself, right? Or looking at a young lady who's naked dancing in a shower, right? Like, if that's not weird to you yet, then I pray that you get awareness on your issue, on your current issue. But that's weird. That's weird. And I don't want to feel that way. I don't like thinking about things like that. You know what I'm saying? I like thinking about positive things. I like thinking about, my purpose. I like thinking about, you know what I'm saying? I like thinking about things that brings me joy. I like thinking about, you know what I'm saying, what I can do to make the world better. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like thinking about. I don't want to think about pornographic imagery. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. He gave me the sauce on what it really is. And I made a video about this earlier, but guess what? Sometimes, knowledge can come in and leave and then come back, right? Your thoughts are not of you. You cannot identify with your thoughts. Because as soon as you start identifying with your thoughts, they become reality. Because, like, imagine if I identified with my thoughts. I would have indulged. I would have broke my streak. I would have broke my character. I would have broke so many promises that I've made with myself and others, right? If I would have indulged. So, and what I mean is, right, if you identify with your thoughts, right, you would think if you were in my shoes, you would think, oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I should do. No, because guess what, right? Now, of course, right? This is all 3D. This is all physical, right? But no matter how you put it, no matter how you scramble it, scrape it, whatever, no matter what religion or whatever you come from, right? It all acknowledges that there is things outside of this earthly realm. That there are things outside of this air that we breathe, outside of this body that we're in, outside of this world that we're standing on, right? And what is that called? That's called the spiritual realm. There are angels and demons all around you, guardian angels, succubus, incubus, all these different things that are around you, and they have been watching you and they have known you since birth, right? They've been watching you and known you since birth, and they will instill thoughts in you to push you to do things that benefit them. Because guess what? Spilling your seed and not being on your purpose and going against God's will is exactly what fuels them and fuels their side of the war. Because there's a spiritual war going on. And guess what? You don't gotta believe it, whatever. Guess what? If you don't believe it, then you can get out this video. But this is the world that we are living in. We live in a spiritual world. And guess what? You ever get those weird thoughts, about violence, about hurting someone, about pushing someone into the bus lane or whatever, or about kicking someone just because you can? Guess what? That's not of you. That is a demon trying to test his luck, trying to see if you're willing to do it. All right? That's exactly what that is. All these serial killers that say they hear voices to kill somebody, that's them submitting to the demon that has been watching them since birth. And now that demon has dominion over them. And now they will do their bidding. That's what that's called. So if you want to defeat lust, you have to flee from it. You have to run away. You have to cast them out. God gave you dominion. God gave you dominion over these demons, man. These demons are beneath you, man. They're peons. They're nothing. They're little cockroaches. Just spray some Raid, and you know who's your Raid? God. That's who your Raid is. And you're just a hand that's, you know what I'm saying? Because guess what? That Raid spray is always there in that cabinet, but it takes you to pick it up and utilize it. And that's what needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? For all my young men, young women that's struggling with corn, man, I'm telling you there's a way out. And I'm telling you, you're not this weird, nasty individual. Corn is weird and nasty, but you're not. You can get out of this. You can grow. You can become greater than this. But you must allow God to work in you. Because like I said, I tried using so much willpower over the years and hit 100-day streaks, 150-day streaks, all that stuff. And I've never gotten to the place I am now without God, without Jesus Christ, without him guiding me along the way and having a crutch. Because guess what, man? Cat Williams said it best. He was like, hey, man, why would I ever not be a believer in Jesus Christ? Because I don't just got myself. I got God behind me, where if I'm ever weak, I can fall on him. You unbeliever, you have no one to stand on. And you're flawed. You're a human being. You are an emotional creature, right? You go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and you're just relying on yourself? That is idiotic and foolish. So yeah, God put it on my heart to speak on this. And just, and Don's journey ain't all glitz and glam where it's like, I'm starting a business and I have a new $1,000 suit and I'm buying this watch and hey, I'm hitting the gym and look at me, I'm lifting and I'm running this race and I'm running the marathon and blah 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 blah. Like, nah, bro, it's also about the real stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I be going through stuff, man. I have struggles. Like I used to be a sugar addict, man. I used to have 2-3 cans of Coke. I mean, not cans of Coke, but cans of Pepsi every day. I used to always have 2 or 3 desserts a day. I used to always have sweets every day. Pizza at least 3 times a week. Chinese at least 3 times a week. Sometimes multiple times in a day. McDonald's weekly. Eggs weren't a thing. Vegetables weren't a thing. Sweet potato wasn't a thing. Dessert was a thing. Cake was a thing. Haagen-Dazs was a thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just keeping it real for all my people out there, because I know I'm telling you this message is going to help. And if you don't want to comment on the video because you don't want to make your presence known, hey man, my socials are linked in the description if you want to hit me up and speak to me personally. You know what I'm saying? I'm always available. You know what I'm saying? And this is a judgment-free zone. And you'll be hearing more about this in the next video, but I got a website now and a newsletter, and if you want to subscribe, it's linked in the description. You can watch the next video and it'll explain more on that. But anyways, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video. I love y'all. I'll see y'all.